I just want to stay here because I love my country, and I want to be here whatever it takes. And a lot of people who go abroad, they feel even more helpless and guilty and scared. I'm also like unsafe and scared, but at least I'm in the right place. It's where I should be. We are fighting on multiple directions. One is military, one is infowar.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it's very important because the Russian propaganda machine is very strong, and we constantly have to fight fakes. And
I forget which episode this is, but I'm not gonna bother with it. But I'm really happy to have you here. So thank you for doing this with me, and I'll try my best to spread the word. Thanks for agreeing to do this with me.
thank you a lot for reaching out. A lot of people just say thoughts and prayers, and that's it. So the fact that you wanted to do this thing, it means a lot, and I'm really moved.
Oh yeah, I actually, because I'm like thinking, we're already started, by the way. We'll just keep it loose, and
Sure.
I will, because when I heard about the Ukraine thing, I was like, who do I know from Ukraine? And I'm like, Marina, she's from Ukraine. And then I see her posts, and they kind of look very serious and stuff. And I always wanted to show people that, hey, I've been to a high school with someone from Ukraine, and I want to start awareness about it, and anything you might want to share, that I want to be the medium to share it with whoever watches this. And yeah, so
Well,
for the
thank you.
viewers, would you like to tell the viewers a little about yourself and your humble beginnings and what brought us here?
Well, hi viewers. My name is Marina, and I'm from Ukraine. And I met Sid when we were still in high school, and I was in Beijing. And I've been to Beijing just for a short period of time, just I think 3 or 4 years, because of my father's job, and then returned back to Ukraine. So, but I still remember those times fondly. We went to an international school, and there were always kids from around the world studying Chinese, and I don't know. And we both used to listen to Green Day.
Yeah.
Back then, yeah. And I remember like he was starting out with his band, Redundant Seconds. Had like a few gigs in bars and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. Like you had a dream and you were chasing it. So then I returned back to Ukraine, and been here ever since. Like I'm working in IT as a copywriter. So yeah, in my free time I'm writing my own stuff. Had a like publishing deal, but the war ruined that too. So now we are still at war. It's been 100 days, and maybe we're not like making headlines abroad, but like it's still like stressful every day. Um, um, so actually, the war started in 2014, but it was kind of local. So Russia took our island. It's called Crimea. It's a big island, and also in the east, they started like this war, pretending it wasn't them, but it was them. And so for all these years, there's been like this tension between our countries, and actually it has some very deep historical roots. There's always been tension because Ukraine's fight for independence was brutal, and we have many like sad pages in our history. But so like there's been this tension. So but we still couldn't believe that the war would start like in the whole country, that Putin would attack like the whole country. So there were talks, there were like anxieties. January was very like depressing and confusing because we were all on edge. Will he attack? Won't he attack? Is it all a bluff? What should we do? There were constantly like news. Prepare yourselves. How do you prepare to something like this? You know. So, everyone had like their emergency bag ready with documents and like money and stuff, but like I think no one fully understood what it would mean. And personally, I thought that like the conflict would get worse in the east, and like not the whole country would be affected. But then like on the 24th of February, all throughout the country there were explosions. Like I woke up at 5 a.m. Because my mom called me. She said, "Oh, it started," and well,
where is your mom? Is she in the same city?
yeah, we all live in Kiev. It's the capital. So but we live in different places. So she called me and said, like, come here, at least we'll be like together, figure out what's happening. So and I rushed to my parents' home with this emergency bag, which was like stupid because I haven't packed essential things, because like all the rush, I didn't know what to do. And the first days was very tough because there was so many news, like explosions over there, like air missiles strikes, stuff is happening all over the country. You're reaching out to like friends and family, making sure they're okay. We had to figure out with our job. Thankfully, it's online now because it was online like right at the start of the pandemic. But still, like, are we working? Are we not working? Who's where? And so I went to my parents' home, and I was with my mom and dad. And like there were constant news that we should find like a bomb shelter. It was still in January. There were news from the government that you should be aware where is your nearest bomb shelter. And we don't have bomb shelters because we just don't. It's very expensive, like to build those things, and people usually like go to the underground parking lot or the subway. It acts like a bomb shelter. So near my parents' home, there's a subway station, and whenever there's like an alert that there's an airstrike, you have to go and shelter. And so the first few days we went to this subway, so there were like a million people there, and like elderly people with kids, people with dogs, and it was all crowded, and we were all constantly reading the news, not knowing what should we do. Then like in this whole stress, like I was reaching out to friends thinking, oh, what are they doing? And one of my friends said they're leaving for the west of Ukraine, and I have a few friends there, and like I thought that this like my parents are not that young anymore, and it's all like taking a toll on us, like running to the shelter, like worrying about food. What if food goes out? What if like there's some problem with money? What if like so all these worries, I thought that maybe we should leave. And I started arguing with my parents because, of course, they didn't want to leave because the older you get, the more you're rooted to the place you always live. And it was like a whole week of fighting. But then there were constant like news from of airstrikes and the fact that the Russians came like to the suburbs of Kiev almost, and like the battles on ground were very close to our home, like 30 kilometers away. There were already troops, there were already tanks, and I was like, no, we're leaving. We have to leave because at least like to figure out what should we do. I didn't know if we would come back or how the situation is going to go. We were all hopeful, we were all believing in the best, but still like decided we should go. So we packed like our bags, and it's I will tell you, it's very hard to pack your life in like one bag. And think about like it was still winter, like what clothes should I get, what stuff is important, what is not important. And we went to the like train station, and of course there were like a million people there too, everyone waiting for the evacuation trains. And actually that was the scariest night because
could you tell
while
me
waiting,
which night was this? Like, if you remember the date.
yeah, it was the 2nd of March. We had the tickets, but like it was such a confusing mess there. Like people were just squeezing into trains, everyone like with bags and kids, and everyone like rushing. So we arrived early, but we had like tickets for a specific train. So I thought maybe they let us in with tickets, but while we were waiting, like there was another alert of an attack, and we descended like in the underground like place in the station, and heard a really loud explosion. So it was like 5 minutes away from us, and thankfully we were underground, but it was still very loud. And like now it's all digitalized. It's like a very strange experience to experience war. Like you get constant like messages, you see everything, everyone in the chat asking what's up, like photos sharing and so on. And immediately we saw that it was like not the rocket itself, but a piece of like our defense hit the main rocket, and it was like a piece from the rocket, and it still was very loud, still scared us all very much. So that was super stressful. Then we rushed to our train, and we barely managed to squeeze in, even though we had tickets, because everyone was rushing. And we were like, not sure if, I don't think there are trains like that in the US, but it was like a overnight like sleeping train, and usually there are like 4 people in one compartment, but there were 9 of us, and like someone had a cat, I had my tortoise, There were bags, and like we were all
You
squeezed. Like,
said you had your turtle.
yeah.
What's its name? What's the turtle's name?
Matilda. It's a she.
Matilda. So yeah, I mean, we do have the overnight trains in here, but I have not been to overnight ones. But in China, they're really good ones. So
Yeah,
you're
in
planning
China.
to go to the west to see your friends, if I'm hearing correctly at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just contacted them and has said, can we go for like a week maybe to figure out what's happening. So yeah, so that night journey was awful. But then we arrived to Lviv, which is a city in the west. It's close to the Polish border. And like at the time, we thought that it was relatively safe because like, well, the troops didn't come there, and it's close to like Europe. But still, now the airstrikes are everywhere. So uh, like it was relatively safe back then, but now like nowhere it's safe. So we stayed with my friend's family, then moved to another friend's family. We were looking for like an apartment to rent, but it was very hard because everyone was rushing west, and a lot of people actually went abroad. Um, but I don't know, it didn't feel right to us because like yes, we wanted to feel safer and without the constant stress, but we don't want to leave Ukraine. And like we know that it was important for the economy that we stay here, like buy stuff. It was important to like to volunteer, to help people. So
Yeah.
so we stayed. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, because this was actually one of my questions. I wanted to, because I was curious, So, what made you want to stay? And I actually got your answer. Also, how does it feel that now you've stayed? I mean, it must be a really good feeling. It's like staying for a cause, because I was thinking, if I was in Nepal and like the streets I grew up in, the first learned to ride bikes and first went to school, and to know that something is happening there, like someone's trying to come and take it, and now that you stayed, and how do you feel about that? Is it a humbling feeling? Because it's your childhood there.
Uh, yeah, I know. Like a lot of people, a lot of actually, there's a lot of help from all around the world. There are like initiatives and people saying, "Oh, please come," or like job opportunities, and everyone is so welcoming, and it's very nice. But uh, I don't want to leave, and I'm not sure. Like it's a humbling feeling. It's just that. Uh, I just want to stay here because I love my country, and I want to be here, whatever it takes. And a lot of people who go abroad, they feel even more helpless and guilty and scared constantly. At least, yes, I'm also like unsafe and scared, but at least, like, yeah, I'm in the right place. It's where I should be, I think. And
I think that's very brave of you. Um, it's very brave, and it's beautiful to hear all this story. And I hope this message reaches out to whoever it needs to hear this. And we're all here, and we're all one. And I'm really happy to have known you for the time I did. And I remember that even back in Chinese class, that's where we were, the Hanbupan, whatever. You're always like really good. You always got like the best scores in like the Tingxie or whatever, like the dictation. You're really good learner, and I hear that you're working on your writing, and I hope this brings a lot of good chapters to your book. Um, and I want to wish you all the best. And yeah.
thank you. Yeah, hopefully. So yeah, going back to the tale. So we've been like for 2 or yeah, exactly 2 months in this western city, and then we started getting like news that Kiev region has been liberated, that the troops, Russian troops, have gone away, and still there was a lot of messages that it's not safe to come back because everything is mined. They could come back anytime, and it's still closer to Russia, so um, but we like couldn't stay there living off like friends help. It's very like uncomfortable to take. I know like everyone was helping each other, and it's in crisis is what you do, but still we decided to go back. So now I'm back to my hometown, and it was a really strange feeling to come back and see um, the effects. I don't know the what war like brought here, because there are like fortifications all around the city, like checkpoints, a lot of like guards with guns walking around. Um, Maybe it's not that shocking in USA to see someone with a gun, but
So funny.
yeah.
Yeah, like
But here, like, it's still like this. There was this atmosphere of tension, but like a lot of people are coming back, and the cities, like businesses are coming back, and like more and more stuff is opening. I don't know, museums, theaters, because we all know that like the war is very, very expensive, and it's important to keep the economy running. It's important to like give people jobs. So like we're doing what we can. Now it's still we have like approximately 1 or 2 alerts per day, but our defense forces are very cool, very strong. Very proud of them, because um, like there are no hits almost. We just hear news that this rocket was eliminated. And yeah, but still the situation is very serious in the east, and about 20% of the territory is occupied, and it's like so hard to read those stories about people under occupation, because um, it's all kinds of nightmares are happening. And even though I'm here and I'm doing the best I can, you still feel helpless in the face of such evil. And we're just praying every day for victory to come closer to us, doing what we can. Yeah.
yeah. Are there some websites or news sites that you would recommend our viewers to check out so we are up to date and not get false information or censored stuff?
Sure.
You could share
Can
with
I
me later too, but yeah.
you put them in the description? Yeah, because yeah, that's true, because we are fighting on multiple directions. One is military, one is info war.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it's very important because the Russian propaganda machine is very strong, and we
Hmm.
constantly have to fight fakes. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be my pleasure to share it. I'll share it down here as well. And yeah, and is it okay if I share your Instagram so
Sure.
they can see what you post? And I'll be sure to share your Instagram as well. Yeah, and Could you tell me more about, like, maybe I want to get an idea of how it was like on the day off when it all went down and you heard the news. What was your day like? I'm interested in hearing your point of view. Not to make you relive that again. I'm sorry.
No, I just I couldn't like realize that this was my life, that this is happening, that war is here, because there was so much talk. Will it happen? Won't it happen? And and it was very confusing, and I didn't know what it all means. Because when you see war in movies, uh, you like see military fighting with each other, and I don't know, it's kind of their thing. But war comes in all of our houses. It's everywhere. So on that day, I woke up, like I said, at 5 a.m., rushed to my parents' home, and like we went to stock on food. We started like googling like bomb shelters. I started like getting messages from work. Oh, are we working? Are we not working? Like who is where? I messaged like my friends where they, if they heard the explosions, what are they planning to do? Stuff like that. So it was like constantly on the phone and trying to figure out how to do everything. And yeah, I think no, on the first day we didn't go to the underground. We just because there is like a loud system of alerts, the sirens, but the first days they weren't like set right. I think that we couldn't hear them, so there was this whole confusion, figure out how to get the correct info. And so yeah, the first day was just like frantic, and not like, it's like seeing your future crumbling and seeing just this void. You don't know what's gonna happen. Like you're not safe anywhere. No one you love is safe. You don't know like what to do with your life. I don't know, nothing. And like seeing like different people react like a lot of people who had cars, they just jumped into the car and straight for the border abroad. And like we don't have a car, so the family, I don't know if we would like leave on the first day, because it's still hard to convince my parents to leave. But like seeing them leave, thinking, oh, maybe I should leave. So I don't know, it isn't like very hard to explain. I hope I'm making sense.
Oh, you're making sense. Yeah.
So I don't know, I just I would like your viewers to like spread awareness and know that yeah, we're not making headlines, but Ukraine still needs your support.
Definitely.
Just like being aware that we're still in this, that because we also get super tired, you know, it's, you can't just turn it off and go leave your life. You try to find these pockets of joy, or like when I came back to Kiev, I saw my friends and was like very touching feeling, oh, you're here. You're alive, and we can still like hang out, and it's like a blessing. Didn't realize how much of a blessing it was until it was threatened. But still, like everything you do, you think, oh, like people are dying every day. Like our best men and women are fighting and dying for us. So it's horrible. And you just pray for this victory day come sooner.
Yeah, I will definitely pray and have all my viewers pray, and we can take a moment to spread awareness. And I really appreciate you agreeing to do this and sharing your world. And I would love to do this again with you. Um, but before we go, could you tell me what your normal day looks like right now? I mean, doesn't matter, weekend, weekday. Pick a day. What would it look like?
Well, right now, I'm super blessed. Like I said, I'm very thankful that I have my job because our company is like working with a international market, and thankfully it wasn't affected. So I just uh, work at my job, and then I volunteer in a foundation for that does fundraising for medical expenses. So I write texts for them. I do what I do best, right? So if there are no alerts, sometimes we make plans with friends. We go out, like, but mostly like it's just reading the news. Like I can't switch it off, and every day you see something new. Uh, it's kind of horrible metaphor, but it's like a reality TV show. You can't stop watching and hoping that it will turn out like you want. So sometimes I don't know, meet my parents. My parents volunteer. Uh, they make like camouflage nets for the army. It's can send you a picture of this thing, like these nets that you put over like tanks or like weapons. They make handmade these nets because if they're artificially made, the drones can detect them. So it's important they're made by hand. And sometimes I join them because it's very like relaxing. uh,
Туда сейчас ничего не едет, туда сейчас. Тут по Киеву нельзя проехать. Не, ну я ты шо?
yeah, I can send you some pictures of of the city, and
Yeah, I'd
I'd rather.
also like to wish you, sorry to cut you off, I'd like to wish you a happy Pride Month. It's June.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean it's like, the nature tells us that it's beautiful, but humans are making it difficult on each other.
I wanted to say just the thing that you said about Pride Month. We are fighting not only like territorially for land, but also for democracy and for freedom, because like in Russia there is no freedom of speech, there is no like no pride, nothing. Ukraine is making great progress, has made a lot of progress in this 30 years since the fall of the Soviet Union, and we want to be like a European country with European values, and our pride events have been getting more and more people, and people are changing, and like we value our freedom most of all, as this war is showing, like we're prepared to die for it. And Russia is just a big bully, and who doesn't believe in like the value of human life and the freedom to be. the freedom to like believe what you want, speak your language, and so on. So it's kind of symbolic that yeah that we have Pride Month now, and it's all integrated in this fight too.
Well, yeah, I'm so happy that you guys share that value, and human emotions and feelings are not made up, so you cannot put them down and censor them. And definitely that's very true. I also want to ask you one question. I mean, it could be a touchy subject, maybe not at all. I don't know what you're thinking, but in high school we did have Russian friends and stuff. How do you feel about them now? Has it changed, or I don't want to stir anything up, but I just want to ask because I'm curious. Has that changed? Because obviously it's not them, it's the government, right? Not everyone
Well,
is like that. But I'm open to hear what you have to say about that.
yeah, thank you for being open, and thank you for this question. Still, a lot of people now say that, oh, it's not Russians, it's the government. But, Russians have been silent for a long time. Like I said, the war has started in 2014, and like personally, I didn't like I had Russian friends when we were in Beijing, but like I lost contact with them, and I didn't have any like friends from Russia, but they always avoided this topic, and right now they're avoiding it and thinking like, oh, it's our government, but who chooses the government? Like they had Putin for like all the 30 years. For one term, it was Putin's friend. So and all the media is government control. Like how did you let this happen? And I know that like common Russians now have a hard time like beating the regime, but they're not even interested. Like a lot of friends of friends from Russia just stay silent on the topic. And I don't think that we Ukrainians, if our government was killing and raping and like making us die in thousands for some stupid, like crazy dictator, that we would be silent, because like we had a really big revolution when there was a president streets, we had a riot, like I don't know, Green Day style, punk rock style. So right now, I think that Russians who are keeping silent, or they are saying, oh, sorry, that's not my fault, it's my government's fault. Well, I just want to say to them, but like, who chooses the government, and we're not doing anything. And all the posts that I see is, sorry, it's our government, but like, you're not spreading awareness, you're not like donating, you're not supporting Ukrainians. You're just talking about yourselves, just talking about how sorry you are, but that doesn't feel right, I think. So right now, and we have a lot of influence of Russia, have had it for a long time. Like a lot of people speak Russian. A lot of people like used to watch Russian like movies and music and stuff. And I think it's time to like distance ourselves from this and think about who we are, and seek back to our traditions, and like support us, and to the people to the Ukrainians who have Russian friends. Like I don't know what to say, because if you see this big nation attacking you and you just stay friends with someone who doesn't want to take the blame, it's very hard. That's my opinion. Of course, like some people maybe have a different opinion, but that's what I think.
Yeah, your opinion is valid, and everyone's got their opinion, and it's important for everyone to know different opinions. It's definitely true. Yeah, thanks a lot. I didn't know um, you thought like that. I didn't know you had feelings like that, and it's totally valid. I would understand too. You know, I would want to give examples right now because I don't actually have any, but I do try to put myself in your shoes, and I do understand that. Yeah, and if you guys are Russians, and if you want to talk about it, you should also at the same time create awareness rather than just pushing the blame just to the government. And I understand you.
Yeah. And well, there's a lot of Russians. I think if they like really want it, they could overthrow the government because it's for their own good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to live in this regime, and I don't know.
Well, I look forward to promoting this and spreading this in any way I can. And if you have any links, like where we can donate on our end, anything, I will be glad to share that too. And I'll be happy to donate some myself, whatever I can. And I'm so glad to be a part of this. And I hope someday we can go to a Green Day show together. That'd be great. I've never seen Green, but even if, yeah. And, thank you so much for your time. And I would like to end this one. And I'm so happy because I hadn't recorded a new episode in a long time. And when I saw your post, I thought, this is it. I got to do this. And if there's anything, last words you want to add to the viewers, I'd be also glad before we go.
Well, yeah, just my message is just keep spreading awareness, keep being interested, because it's kind of heartbreaking that like the first shock is over and people like are switching to other stuff, and just every little sum helps. Like even if you can't donate, to just spreading a post, sharing info, and showing your support like matters a lot. I'm very very happy that you reached out, because like a lot of friends just watch my stories and don't, like, I'm not sure what they're thinking. And your kindness and like openness is very humbling, and I'm really grateful from the bottom of my heart, like really.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will send you the additional info, and like I wish you all the best in life. From the time we were kids, I always thought you were like a very great person with a bright future.
Yeah. So I would like to wish you all the best on your writing as well, and everything that's coming to you. It's gonna be okay, and we're all here. We're one. Don't ever feel alone. If you ever need to talk, I'm here. Even outside the podcast thing, I'm glad we got to reconnect like this. You know my Instagram. If you want to talk about anything, I'm there. And yeah, we're all one. So don't ever feel alone, because we're here. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.